it's Mina Ali here with Plain Jane Wisdom for you on your Tuesday. Thank you so very much for joining me today. We're going to talk on two hot topics. And these are topics that I'm going to step on some toes with today. But that's okay, because we're going to come to you from this beautiful Piedmont Park. Do you see the park behind me? It is beautiful up on the landscape. Oh my goodness, I just love Piedmont Park. This is just my place. And I am here giving what it is that I have been asked to talk about. And I don't know if I'm going to lose a lot of you today, but I'm going to hopefully just give it to you straight. Plain Jane Wisdom, that's what we do. So, judgment, discernment, two words that are used intertwined, but the use of them is almost deadly sometimes. Some of the old religious times that I can remember, we used to use the word discernment a lot. And I notice nowadays, in the modern day feel of religion, that discernment is really a word that is used to kind of sugarcoat what we're doing in judgment. I'm noticing a lot of people that are saying, I discern this from God, X, Y, and Z. It's really saying, I'm just judging you and I'm using God for my basis. But God's not in that. And God will not be in that. And you can't even put God in there with both feet. But I think what I need to speak on today, and I think the understanding of these two words is in their difference, so that we can truly understand the difference. And then, of course, in the next video, we're going to talk about it in real time and how to use it. So, judgment, discernment. Yeah, this is going to hurt a little. Okay, so on my Instagram page, there's going to be a little snippet that I always type up. There's a way that you can put little words on a blank screen and kind of give you an Instagram pic instantly. And one of them that I really, really like is a saying that I found. I don't know who said it, but it was one of those things that you kind of, in reading, you find it and it just sticks with you. And it says, please do not use the sheep's clothing of judgment and wear it as the wolf of discernment. Now, sheep's clothing, that's the thing you want to see, that you're so calm and you're so nice and you're so religious and you're so into God, and you call that discernment. But yet really underneath all of that is the wolf of judgment. And the wolf of judgment is so totally deadly that is ridiculous. Now, discernment. Discerning is putting together with common sense, sometimes with an iniquity of a spiritual peace, a truth about something. A lot of times you hear it in police work that there's a discernment based on the holes in your story, that this is true and this is not true. And then there are certain things in spirituality that has been discerned or given, downloaded, as I like to say, from the Almighty. So this discernment is a truth. There is a real thing called discernment, and there's a real causation for this discernment. It is so that if nothing else, you get the truth in something so that you can learn and grow and be better in that wisdom. Then there is I guess I call it like the angel and the devil on your shoulder. The discernment is the angel, the judgment is the devil. So there's this big horn, pitchforked little thing sitting on your shoulder that's called judgment. And that thing is really nasty. That thing can throw ego into play and make you think that it is discernment and have you thinking that you're doing something wrong. But this judgment is based on someone else's experience about your situation. I'll say that again. Judgment is someone else's experience about your situation. That means they're going to come to you and they're going to say, well, you know what, Amina? I really don't think that God has such and such for you. Okay, how so? Well, what I'm discerning, buzzword, is that you are doing such and such and such and such, and that this is such and such and such and such. Okay, that's your opinion is what I heard. I didn't hear a discernment. A discernment comes when there is truth that has been embedded into that based on a tangible reasoning. Case in point, and we're going to use this in an example again, but I'll just give you an example of what I mean. When you discern something, it could literally come in a dream. The discernment that was given to me before I had children was that I was only going to have 2 children. And it kind of scared me. I had an elder that discerned that in a dream that she saw me sitting with 2 halos next to me. And she said the halos in her dreams always represent children. So she said, I only saw you with 2 children. And I said, okay, well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. I didn't know where it came from, but I guess because I was speaking about having children many moons ago, this is what came up, that I was only going to have 2. So I wanted a lot, you know, being the only child for so many years. I just wanted a lot of children. I wanted a tribe of children. If I could, I was going to have 8 or 10 of them if he was willing and wanting. But she said I was only going to have 2. And there's some truth to that, because I only had 2. And I had 2 girls, and they're beautiful. But that discernment came from her dream. So something on high downloaded something into her, and she gave it to me. And it uploaded into my truth. Now, when the 2 children came, and I only had 2 children, and that lets me know that that discernment was a great revelation in what it is that was supposed to be given to me. Now, if she says to me that based on what it is that I see, this is her speaking, that I think you're going to have maybe 4 or 5 kids. It doesn't sound like a discernment. That sounds like an opinion based on a judgment you want to pass on to me. Because truth of the matter is I only had 2 children, so I can't really assert and discern that this was a true discernment. Now, on discernment, on the other hand, is something that is positive. Discernment is always positive. Even if it's a negative message, it's always positive because it's giving you truth that you can work with. And this is something that is allowing you to be able to go ahead and be right within you so that you can be a better person. However, judgment is always opinionated. It's always based on someone else's understanding of what you're going through. And it's never really based on a truth. Judgment is just that, someone else's opinion about you. So if you're judging someone based on maybe your history or your experience, then that is your truth. That has nothing to do with the person that you're judging. Case in point with this thing with the human rights versus Black Lives Matter and the civil rights and all of this. These are all judgment pieces. People are saying that all lives matter. Okay, all lives matter. Yeah, that's true. But when was all lives mattering? When we were being hosed down and, you know, and their civil liberties were taken away from us. All lives haven't mattered. All lives should matter. Now, the discernment is the should. The Black Lives Matter is the judgment. We're just judging that because all the things that are happening to African Americans, that Black lives matter. But all lives matter. And the truth of the matter is that the discernment is that all of us should be taking better care of each other. The judgment is that we have to isolate matters. We have to isolate ourselves. We have to isolate a group of people to say that we matter, as though we matter more than others. And all lives matter, but it's an injustice that is happening on certain lives. And that's where we need to be plausible. Our discernment is how do we better our lives as people that are being targeted. The discernment is how do we get a firm grip on change that is going to better the revolution of a people. The judgment is that we need to be separate and apart from what it is that humanity has brought together. And we need to do this in such a way that it degrades another people. Case in point, when we talk about the Black Lives Matter, we're saying Black Lives Matter. Yes, they do. And I can't even shy away from that. And I cannot even take away from the power behind that statement. But what I am saying is that Black Lives Matter clearly to us. Clearly it matters to the people that are being hurt. Now, what about the other people that are being targeted and ridiculed? What about those that are humanistically being taken from their truth and being shunned into something else? What about those people? What about those people that are going to be in a place of detriment and poverty and lack because of someone else's predisposed judgment or prejudice against them? So do their lives not matter? Do their lives and their liberties not matter in a conscientious way for everyone? So if we are going to look at a judgment, we have to look at a judgment based on the opinion in our experience. We have to look to a discernment as it is semblanced in a truth that is readied over time. Discernment and judgment is best served at a warm temperature with a humanistic mind, and it is also tempered with a more mature wisdom about them. Sometimes the discernment is in what it is that we are judging, and then grow in that wisdom. This is Amina Ali with a great topic, and I pray that I haven't hurt too many people and I haven't lost you. But if I have, thank you so very much for tuning in today. If you want to have a great visual of this, tune into the next video, which is the real-time example. Discernment, judgment, Amina Ali, plain Jane wisdom here in Piedmont Park. I'll see you again soon.